Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Illinois students. My name is Diana Mondragon. I am a school counselor at Dundee Crown High School and a proud member of IACAC, as well as a proud graduate of NIU. So just a few reminders as people are joining us. If you are interested in signing up for more sessions, this event does go into October, so please check out the other sessions that are being offered through IACAC.org. This recording will be available afterwards for you to review. And if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A feature to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. And please just keep in mind that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists can't see or hear you, but they will be able to answer any questions you have if you put them in through that Q&A feature. So at this time, I will turn it over to our presenters and allow them to introduce themselves.
All right, thank you so much. Let me get this presentation up first. Okay, share. Okay, perfect. Does that look good to you, Kaylin?
Yep, looks great.
Okay, thank you so much. Start the next one. Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I know you guys could be anywhere today on this wonderful evening, on a Thursday evening, but you chose to spend some time with us, and we greatly appreciate it. My name is Alex Torres. I'm one of the admissions counselors at the Office of Admissions at NIU. I've been here a little over 3 years, but I've been at NIU since 2013. So I actually graduated from here with a degree in rehab and disability services, which is quite different from being an admissions counselor, but at the end of the day, it's still helping people. And that's why I do this. That's why I have such a big passion for being an admissions counselor, just because I like helping people out. I came here as a first generation student, started off as a freshman. I had a hard time transitioning. I didn't have the cultural capital to be successful initially, but I had a lot of mentors, a lot of people that helped me out. A lot of people I was able to ask questions to, and that's why I like being here as your resource to help you out, transition through higher education and transition through NIU so you can reach that ultimate goal of graduating. But thanks again for showing up. We also have Kaylin with us. She's one of our Northern ambassadors here. I'll be introducing her towards the end of the presentation, so you can give herself a quick introduction at the end, and then she'll also be here to help answer any questions at the end. You guys should be able to ask questions throughout the presentation. If they show up, I'll try to answer them. But if any questions come up at the end, I'll answer them then as well. So I'll start off with just a brief history of NIU. So again, welcome. Just a quick history of NIU. We got founded in 1895. We actually got started as a school for teachers. So that's what the biggest program was for a while. The castle that you see on the left is actually the original building. That's where NIU was housed in. Obviously, we changed a little bit more, a lot bigger school, a lot bigger programs, but we're still here just to help you out as well. One thing that I always tell students to look into is the mission statement of university. Whether you're looking at NIU or another institution, the mission statement gives you a pretty good idea of what the university values and what they look at to help students for that end goal as well. So the mission of NIU is to empower students to educational excellence and experiential learning as we pursue knowledge, share our research and artistry, and engage communities for the benefit of the region, state, and the nation, and the world. So being a student here, working here for NIU as well, I can really say that NIU does live up to that mission. It's one thing you should look at as a student, see if this mission aligns with what you personally believe in, and to also make sure that the university itself is living up to that. So I always tell students, look at our mission, research it, and then come to NIU and let us know if we're living up to us. If not, hold us accountable and let us know. We also have values, so curiosity, creativity, equity, inclusion, ethics and integrity, and service and stewardship. So being here at NIU, you have that opportunity to grow. There's a lot of opportunities through co-training or through community service to make sure that you're living up to the values as well. There's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities for that. So we have a couple fast facts, and I'll go through them. Just a quick introduction to NIU, just fast facts. and so we can have time at the end for questions. So our president is Dr. Lisa C. Freeman. She started right around 2017, around the same time that I started. So I've been here throughout her time here at NIU, and I can really say that she's somebody that truly does care about the students. She's been making headlines recently just of all the great initiatives that she's been doing to help students out through this situation. But overall, she's always just somebody that cares about the students and puts the students first. So definitely a great president. Also recommend looking into her research here as well. So we are a larger institution. Our student population fluctuates between 16 to 18,000, depending on the year and the semester. But we do make it feel like a smaller school. So we have 16 to 1 student to faculty ratio, an average class size of 24 students. The first couple of years, the classes might seem a little bit bigger than 24. A lot of the lecture halls are a little bit bigger for general education courses. But once you get in those big classes, there's also ways to make it a little bit smaller through supplemental instruction, through tutoring services and recitation services as well. Once you get into your major specific classes, they do tend to get a little bit smaller, especially if you're looking at the honors program. But even though we're a larger school, it does feel like a smaller school because you go into your major specific classes and you're usually in one building. So with that, you get that small school feeling, but you still get a lot of those resources that large institutions have. One of these is our alumni network, over 230,000 alumni worldwide. And they're there to help you out, make sure that you're getting the most out of NIU after you graduate as well. We award over 50 million in NIU scholarships. So that's one thing that those small classes really help out with. A lot of the scholarships that students apply for are you need letters of recommendation, and having those small class sizes definitely helps you out to help you fill out the application. But ton of opportunities for scholarships. When I came as a student, I was eligible for many scholarships, but my first semester here had a 3.7 GPA, so I was automatically eligible to apply to a ton of scholarships. And I definitely recommend you guys to do it as well. Even if you're eligible right off the bat for scholarships, don't stop applying, keep applying throughout your time here at NIU. One thing that I really like to brag about is our study abroad program. So we sent Huskies to over 75 different countries, and students were able to study abroad in different regions. I got to study abroad as a graduate student now, so just last summer. But it's something that it's very affordable. There's scholarships available, and they go into your program as well, so you're able to participate in it and still graduate on time, get credit for it to go towards your graduation. One thing that is really big here at NIU is sports. So Division I athletic sports and 16 different sports. We're part of the Mid-American Conference, and our football team always does great. So you have a chance to be on TV because some of our games are aired on ESPN, but also a lot of opportunities to travel with the team. So when there's a large championship game, and then you get to bus and drive students over to the game. I did it my freshman year. A lot of the people that I met on that trip, I still talk to this day. We have over 3,000 jobs on campus. And I definitely recommend students, if you're eligible for work study, to take advantage of that. It makes it a lot more attainable to have a job and go to school at the same time. When I was a student here, I worked at the admissions office as well as a student worker, and I worked at the front desk. I gave tours and also worked at the call center, to just give you a brief example of all the jobs that we have to offer. So you're asking yourself, why NIU? I say NIU just because it helps you grow. I'm a completely different person I was from when I got here as a freshman student to after I graduated. I was able to grow academically and personally. So one way that we help you grow academically is through the different academic programs that we offer. So we have more than 100 areas of study in 6 undergraduate colleges. So like I said, I came as a first generation student. I had a lot of things that I didn't know about NIU or just in higher education in general. So I thought that universities and colleges were completely separate. That's wrong. There's actually colleges within universities. So we have the College of Business, College of Health and Human Sciences, College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, College of Education, College of Engineering and Engineering Technology, and the College of Visual and Performing Arts. So 6 undergraduate colleges. Your major will fall within it. A couple majors here, and I always recommend looking up that are popular. Anything in the College of Business is pretty popular. In the College of Health and Human Sciences, you'll find your nursing majors. A couple of different ones are, College of Education, but pretty much anything you could think of, we have here on campus. And if you can't find it, it's most likely under a different name. So you just have to do a little bit of research or reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help you out and connect you with the major that works with you. If you have an idea already, definitely helps out to do that research. But if you don't have that major selected already, we also have the Academic Advising Center. So this is where undecided students fall under. It's perfectly fine if you're coming in as a freshman student to be undecided. That's what I actually recommend students. I probably would have selected a different major if I looked at the different things that we have to offer, but it makes it super easy to explore the different things that we have to offer. They have different tracks. So whether you're looking at something that's related to administration or something that's more related to the STEM field, they have different tracks to help you pick that major. Usually around your sophomore year or the end of your sophomore year is the best time to pick a major. So I switched my major. I started off as physical therapy, figured out it was something that didn't necessarily want to go into, but was more interested in occupational therapy. And I switched my major my junior year. That's very common. If you're undecided and don't have your major picked out, don't worry, we'll help you out. If you come in as a transfer student, recommend coming in with the major already. But even if you don't, we'll help you out and try to make sure that you're graduating in that 2-year time period to graduate on time and meet the program requirements. There's a lot of ways that a lot of resources we have on campus to help you to be academically successful. One of them is the University Honors Program. So students, based on your GPA from high school and also based on different things that they look at when you fill out the application, you're automatically accepted, well, not automatically accepted, but invited to the University Honors Program. If you don't get accepted right off the bat like I did, once you get that first semester GPA, you're able to apply to the University Honors Program. So even if you're not automatically accepted or invited to join the University Honors Program, you do have the opportunity once you're an NIU student to apply to the University Honors Program. There's a lot of benefits of being part of the honors program. There's exclusive honors for advising. Two of the biggest things that I think are big selling factors in the University Honors Program, that there's a lot of opportunities for having those smaller class sizes. You have priority registration for courses. To register for classes about a week before everybody else. It helps a lot when you're in your junior, senior year, when you look into getting into those classes that are important for your major. There are program requirements, but they're also very popular that tend to fill up. So you have that ability to register for courses a little bit earlier than everybody else.
I'm sorry, Alex. I don't know if we're supposed to be looking at a different screen, but we've been on the test blind admissions for the whole time.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to present something else.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's showing that. All right, let me try again. Thank you so much for letting me know. Let's see real quick. Is that sharing same thing?
No, it's your
You're
desktop.
sharing,
Okay.
yeah, you're sharing your Windows Explorer thing. I don't know what it's called.
Is it still showing the desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll figure this out. Please bear with us.
There we go.
Yes, we got
Yep,
it.
that's right.
Okay, perfect. the good thing is that it wasn't too much that I didn't cover. So we'll go over here. So you have that opportunity to have admission to guaranteed admission programs for graduate programs. So applying to grad school, when I applied to grad school, it wasn't too bad, but there are some programs that are a little bit harder to get into that cause a lot of stress to get into it. So being part of the honors program, you have that opportunity to have the automatic admission. Just takes out all the stress away from applying to graduate programs. So that's one of the biggest selling factors I would say about the honors program. We also have opportunities for research, even for freshman students. We have things such as research rookies. So that's for first semester freshman students. You could also continue as a sophomore, junior, senior, but there's a couple opportunities. You can see through the different grants that we have that make it available to apply for research opportunities and to carry out research opportunities. Some of the benefits on why you should do undergraduate research is because it gives you that opportunity for hands-on experience. Also gives you the opportunity to meet people and network and see that you truly want to do that as a major and as a career. So when I was a student, for my major didn't require any research opportunities, but it did have a shadow component of being part of the program. So my senior year, I got to shadow one of my instructors, and she had a physical therapy, private practice, hippotherapy with pediatrics. So I was using horses as therapy to work with children. So I did that my entire summer, my senior year, and it was definitely something I wanted to pursue and hope to still pursue one day, but just an example of different opportunities we have here at NIU. So a lot about academics, right? But the good thing is that it's not all just academics. Obviously, academics is very important, but being a student here, you're still gonna have opportunities to have fun. So we have things such as welcome days. That's that first week that you're here on campus. It really helps you get connected, the campus, to meet new people, and it's just super fun. There's concerts, there's free food, a ton of free food, so make sure you bring your Tupperware. But just a week-long week of events just to help you feel connected, feel a little bit more at home here at NIU. Later in the semester, we have things such as homecoming, which, you know, super big with football. My favorite thing about homecoming is just seeing all the alumni that come out. They bring all their gear, all their old school Letterman jackets is super cool. You get to see a lot of people that you don't see for a while. So a really great thing. We also have opportunities for community service, and that's super fun as well. So we have NIU Cares Day. You go out to the community and just make it a little bit nicer. It's either, you know, working with a local organization or working with the local people from NIU and from the DeKalb community. We also have family weekends, so you can bring your family out for them to have fun as well. It's pretty much just like homecoming, where there's a lot of events lined up, but it's for your family to come out and have fun as well. So we include everybody. One thing that I tell students to also look at when they're a student here is to be involved in student organizations. We have any organization you could think of. We have over 330. There's anything from Greek letter organizations to social organizations to help you meet people. It's just for fun. There's a lot of misconceptions about Greek life, but there's different types of Greek organizations. There's some obviously there for fun, but there's also professional Greek letter organizations. There's ethnic based Greek letter organizations and professional organizations. Pretty much anything you could think of we have here on campus. If you think we're missing something, definitely recommend you guys to start your own organization here. So when I was a student here, I helped start my own organization. All you need is 5 people, 4 students and a faculty advisor. So I helped start my own Greek letter organization here. But if you feel like we're missing anything, it's up to you. We're having a gap. Just to help students out, you can start your own organization. That's one thing I think students really don't think about is that networking portion of higher education. There's a lot of professional organizations that my friends were part of that help them get connected to different internships, different internship fairs, different professional conferences where they are able to network and meet people. A lot of being involved in these organizations really help them have a job. Jobs after graduation. A lot of them had job offers before they graduated, and some of them have paid internships as a student. So definitely recommend being involved. Being involved also gives you the opportunity to apply for different scholarships, whether it's through that organization or whether it's some of the scholarship that you offer for being involved on campus for having that leadership position as well. A lot of the organizations that we have are housed in the cultural resource centers. So I would say the NIU is a very diverse community, but I don't base it on the different demographics that we have or the percentages of demographics that we have. What I base NIU being diverse on is the different resources that we have on campus. So you can say you're diverse, but if you don't have the resources set in place for students to come in and be successful and be supported, then you can't say you're diverse. But we have different cultural resource centers to help out with that, help students feel, find a home away from home, feel connected to campus. And the great thing about these cultural resource centers is that they're not exclusive. They're open to everybody. I was at the Asian American Resource Center and Center of Black Studies all the time because they have great programming, but also because they tend to have free food and got to try a lot of different food that I never had before. But we have all these resource centers here to help you out. And then, like I said, they're not exclusive. You go to all of them. They have programming available. For example, like co-training and ally training, different things that we have that are housed in these resource centers. Another way that you'll have fun is being part of the residence hall. So first year's freshman students are required to live at the residence halls. The only one that are here on the screen that you don't have access to will be Gilbert Hall at Northern View. So Gilbert Hall is for upperclassmen, so juniors and seniors, and Northern View is for non-traditional students. So if you're married or have kids, you'll be eligible to live at Northern View. The one that I lived at was Neptune. So like I said, you're required to live at the first year at the residence halls. I love this so much that I stayed 2 years. I lived at Neptune 2 years. It's my number one recommendation for students. It's the most affordable one on campus, and it's also the most centralized location on campus. So it doesn't matter what your major is, your class will be close because you're right in the middle of campus. Part of the residence halls, we also have limited learning communities. So that's where the involvement comes in. So we have different things. The great thing about living learning communities is that they have programming available for students. So for example, one of my friends, he lived in ACES. They had a field trip to medieval times. They had a couple leftover tickets, so I got to go for free. But it's just one example of things that they have going on to living learning communities. A lot of them are just based on the different majors that you're looking at. So a lot of the programming is based on that. But there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved and to get something out of living at the residence halls to the living learning communities. We also have special interest communities, which are pretty similar to living learning communities, except that there's no programming. There's still a community advisor that helps with programming just for the floor. But the biggest thing about it is just a support group. There's students that have the same interests as you, and you could do things together, like going to the football games, or if you're at the esports community, participate in that as well. So we have special interest and living learning communities that are part of the residence halls. One thing that students always ask about is the different places to eat on campus. Most of the residence halls do have dining halls within them, and they have different meal plans that are available with them. But there's also places to eat off campus that go part into your meal plan. So a lot of these are brand new on campus. Caribou Coffee is brand new. Herbert's and Gerbert's, Cadoba, Stendella's, and Starbucks. They're brand new on campus. So when you come and visit, you'll be one of the first ones to eat there. Definitely a lot of things that are available on campus, but also off campus as well. So if you ever have a chance to come visit NIU, come check out the Cobb and our different places to eat. This is definitely, if you're a foodie, there's a lot of things here for you. So one thing that I do want to cover for sure is our admission requirements. So as you can see, it says spring 2021. I just want to note that out. So for spring 2021, we're still going with our traditional admission requirements. For freshman students, is a 2.75 GPA with a 19 ACT or 990 SAT. If you test a little bit higher, a 23 and 1140, the GPA requirement drops to 2.5. If you're looking to be a transfer student, you could also apply as a transfer student. All you need is 24 completed college credit hours, 2.0 community GPA, and to be in good standing. A couple dates that are the same across the board except for one. Would be applying for FAFSA as soon as it opens up in October 1st. Make sure you complete that. Undergraduate application deadlines for fall or for freshmen and transfer students for the summer term is going to be May 15th. For the fall term is going to be August 1st. And for spring term is going to be December 1st. So for these deadlines, it's a deadline to have everything submitted. So not just your application, it would be your application and supporting documents. So whether it's official college transcripts, or official high school transcript and test scores. Starting spring 2021, we're not going to require the application fee. So that's one thing we used to request before. Now it's just supporting documents. One thing that I always tell students to make sure that they pay attention to are the merit-based scholarship deadlines. Those are super important. December 1st for freshman students, March 1st for transfers, and for if you're applying for the spring term, it's going to be October 1st. And here's what the merit-based scholarships look like for spring 2021. So we're still looking at test scores. We're looking at the GPA. You pretty much, and you can find this on our website. It pretty much just match up what your GPA is with what your test scores is, and lets you know exactly what you're eligible for. So like I said, this is just for spring 2021. One brand new update that we have starting fall 2021 is the NIU is going test blind. So we're not going to look at test scores anymore for admissions and for merit-based scholarships. If you're applying as a transfer student, we didn't look at the test scores to begin with, so it's still, the admission requirements are still the same, but it really did change for freshman students for fall 2021. What test blind means is that we're not going to look at your test score. You can submit it still, but it's not going to be something that we take into consideration for admission. So there were studies that were done across the nation. We did our own studies here at NIU, and what all the studies showed is that GPA is the best indicator of college success. That drastically increases students' opportunities to be admissible to NIU, but also increases their opportunities to be eligible for merit-based scholarships. So before, there's a lot of students that had a super high GPA, but they weren't the best test takers, so they were admitted, but they weren't eligible for merit-based scholarships. So I was one of those students. If I had came in with these, I would have been eligible for merit-based scholarships. You can find these admission requirements, as you saw halfway through the presentation, and the different admission requirements for the new test blind admission. Just to put in just the simple terms, if you have above a 3.0, you have automatic general admission. If you have a 2.99 or below, you're gonna go through a holistic review. So we look at everything, involvement, classes that you took, whether you have AP exams and stuff like that, are gonna be different things that we look at. Like I said, I recommend going to our website, looking at the test blind policy, because it breaks it down a little bit more, but this, we just wanted to put it real simple. 3.0 or above, you're automatically admitted to NIU. 2.99 below, you still have a chance of being admitted, but you're gonna go through the holistic review. So ACT or SAT scores are not gonna be required for merit-based scholarships. So these are how it's also changing fall 2021 for our merit-based scholarships. As you saw, the other one was a little bit more confusing. So you match up your GPA, match up your test scores. This one's a lot different. So we're not looking for test scores anymore. They pretty much start at a 3.0 up to a 4.0. So let you know the breakdown. And like I said, go on our website, make sure to research this as well so you can see what you're eligible for. So before, we used to have presidential scholarships. There's a range that you would be eligible for it. Obviously, it's a little bit different with students, not considering students' GPAs or test scores anymore. Also, a whole page on it so you can research it. But they're still pretty much the same process. It's still just as competitive, and definitely recommend you looking at that because it's super great. The presidential scholarship is pretty much a full ride. But even if you're not eligible for that one, you're still automatically eligible for the one right below it. And we drastically increased opportunities for students to be eligible for these merit-based scholarships. Super important questions that students ask is what are tuition and fees? So we used to have out-of-state tuition. Starting fall 2020, we moved over to just in-state tuition. So our cost is $12,251 per year. So that's for fall and spring. The good thing for this, you're only paying for 12 credits per semester. So that equates to about 4 classes. Anything above 12 credits from 12 to 18 is the same price. So you get a couple classes for free. And then we also have truth in tuition. So that rate you pay for your first semester, you're locked in for 4 years, plus an additional semester. Room and board is $10,880, and it's around $10,880, just because it could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on your residence hall that you choose. So Neptune's going to be a little bit more affordable. New Hall is going to be a little bit more expensive, and then based on your meal plan, if you have the traditional, if you have the one that's take and go, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's around $23,131, which seems like a lot of money. When I came as a first generation student, I thought it was a lot of money, but the good thing that's all before FAFSA and all before merit-based scholarship. So you can look at these, see how much it would be less than that. and see what your total cost would be. But FAFSA is gonna take up a large portion of that. So when I was a student here, I paid a very small portion of that. So it's always important to get that FAFSA in as soon as you can after it opens up on October 1st. And this is what I'd like to end the presentation on, just the general presentation, is that doesn't matter what major you're looking in, doesn't matter what interest or what career you're going to go into, NIU is going to give you access to it. So we're an hour and 20 minutes from the Quad Cities, an hour and 40 minutes, depending on who's driving, to the Quad Cities, 30, 45 minutes from Rockford, DeKalb, or Rockford, Naperville, Aurora, a train ride, bus ride away from Chicago. So we're right in the middle of a lot of metropolitan areas. So it doesn't matter what program you're looking at, what career you're looking to get into. We have those resources here set in place to give you access to those opportunities. While you're a Husky here and after you graduate, after you're an alumni, we have those resources set in place for you. So after this, make sure to keep in touch. You can connect with our social media. All our links are right here. You can see everything that we have going on, all the events that we're having. A lot of virtual events that we're having this semester were posted on our social media pages. So make sure you visit those pages. And then a couple of days just to keep in mind. So for October, we have October 12th, we're gonna have a virtual open house. We also have one November 11. And then you can register for these virtual events that we have through the hyperlink that's right there. It's just go.niu.edu/visit virtual. So you're able to register for these open houses, but there's other things that we have going on there as well. So we have the virtual visits, virtual tours. You can check out the residence hall, check out the campus. You can set up meetings to meet with counselors one-on-one, whether you're a transfer or freshman student. There's also opportunities to register for presentations. So we have presentations, just daily presentations, and we have presentations specifically for transfer students. That's where you can find all these great resources. So make sure to check it out, especially if you haven't been to campus. It's a good starting point to get that virtual tour. And then once you get a chance to come to visit campus through that same place, or you're going to be able to register for tours where we have Northern Ambassadors that give tours of students up here in the university. Here's my contact information. Again, my name's Alex Torres. I work primarily with transfer students, but I'm more than happy to talk with anybody to help you with your transition to NIU and just any questions you may have. My phone number is 815-526-0471. You can either call me or text me, either one would work. And then my email is atorres8@niu.edu. Feel free to message me there, send me an email. And if you want to schedule a meeting with me, a virtual meeting, my link is go.niu.edu, meet with Alex. And you could schedule, you'll see the different things that we have. So we're right at the end. I see a couple questions coming in. Before we go on with answering the questions, I'm gonna have Katie introduce herself. If you could give us your name, what major here, and then a couple things that the students might be interested in being here at NIU.
Hi, so my name is Kaylin, and I am a third-year senior here at Northern Illinois University. I'm a biological sciences major. I chose NIU for a couple different reasons, and one of the things that attracted me to NIU was the affordability, as Alex talked about a little bit in the presentation. It is fairly affordable, especially compared to a lot of other institutions, and so that's one of the kind of things that drove me to NIU. But then kind of the thing that made me decide that NIU is a school I wanted to go to was just how friendly our community is. So not just on campus, but all of DeKalb is really friendly, and they support the Huskies and the NIU community. And also our Disability Resource Center was able to help me. I have severe anxiety, and so our Disability Resource Center was able to get me every accommodation I needed, and even ones I didn't necessarily think straight up about, they're able to get me and talk to me about those things. And so that's kind of one of the things that really drove me to choose NIU.
All right, thank you. So it looks like we have one question in. The question is, what's the school's policy on IB AP credits? So for AP credits, we accept them. You'll get credit for them. I believe it's a score of 3 or better. They'll come in. You'll get a transfer credit report that'll let you know exactly how everything's going to come in. one thing that we look at, so AP credits help students out if you're coming as a freshman, not necessarily something that will hold you back. It's something that will give you benefits. There'll be less courses you take here at NIU. For transfer students, I know that's where the biggest question comes into play about AP credits. So like I said, to be a full transfer student is 24 credit hours, but AP credits aren't one of those that go towards that. We'll just look at college credits that are completed. AP credits, you receive credit for them. They'll come in as a transfer credits. They'll come in, it'll be less courses you have to take in. So one of my friends had a ton of AP credits that he completed. He did the exams. So when he came in, it was just pretty much one less semester he had to complete because he had a lot of those courses completed already. So we receive them. I would recommend going on our website to test testing services that breaks down the different courses that you could complete and different exams that you could complete in order to get credit for those courses all through our website. Okay. So we don't have no questions at the moment. But I'll go ahead and ask you, Kaylin, one question. What are some of the things that you're involved in here on campus?
So normally I am involved a little bit more because of the strange situation we're in right now. I'm not really involved in other things besides my on-campus job as a Northern ambassador and my off-campus job. But I have been in the past involved in our student government association. So if you have like a student council or something similar in your high school, it's very similar to that. If any student concerns will be brought up to the student government association. I was part of the Senate, and so we'd vote on different things. It could be university policy. It could be making an organization. So as Alex mentioned earlier, you are able to make your own organization. And in order for that to become an organization, it does get presented to the Student Government Association. So it's a really important part of our university and in terms of students. I also am involved in undergraduate research. And so as a biologist, I am doing a biology research, but there are plenty of different research opportunities, not just in a science major, but you can do them in any type of major. And that's a really good thing for me. That kind of reinstilled the idea that I want to go into biology because I enjoy what I'm doing in the lab. And so joining different organizations can help you see if that's something you want to do or something like that.
Sorry, I was muted. We have another question. The question is, besides working, is there a place to volunteer during the pandemic, and what club sports are available to continue? So there's a lot of opportunities to volunteer. Some of them might be outside of NIU. I don't believe there's anything specifically through NIU to volunteer, just because everything pretty much got placed on hold. But once you're a student here, there's going to be more than enough ways to do volunteer service, either as a student or being part of different organizations that volunteer through external organizations. There's a ton of different clubs and sports, and we could be here and have a whole presentation on it. But I would recommend going to our website and checking out the different clubs. But pretty much anything you can think of, we have here. I know some of the more popular ones are like tennis, hockey was a club, and now got up to a different division. I think it's Division 3 now. But anything you could think of, we have here as far as clubs. Is there anything that you want to add, Caitlin, about volunteering on campus?
Volunteering on campus, I don't know exactly what's still going on right now because of the pandemic, but I mean, traditionally there is stuff like the food pantry, our Husky food pantry, that is done through NIU. And we also have a STEM Fest, which is like teaching children in the community about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics related things. I believe that's still going on. They'll just be virtual instead of in person as it normally is. And we do have the NIU Cares Day, as was mentioned in the presentation. As for clubs and sports, I know a lot of them still are continuing. I mean, they're not really doing in person as far as I know, but I know a lot of them are trying to do different virtual events. The Student Government Association, like I mentioned, that is still continuing virtually. I'm just not doing it at the moment because of the situation we're in and for personal reasons. I believe like a lot of the Greek organizations are also doing types of virtual events, and so there still are a lot of options. I hope this pandemic isn't still going on when you come here, but if it is, there will be opportunities for you to get involved.
All right, thank you. Looks like we have one more question. Is there a hip hop team? Not that I know of, but we would love to have you come over to NIU and start a hip hop team or organization. There's more than enough opportunities for that as well. And then just tying back a little bit, back about being involved on campus. I was one of those students that was super involved. I think I maybe was involved in like 6 different organizations when I was a freshman. Definitely don't recommend that because I was pretty burnt out towards the end of the week. So just try to find 1 or 2 organizations that you really have a lot of fun in, you're really good at. Try to hold some leadership positions in them because it helps you with that networking, helps with those leadership skills, which a lot of programs look into, especially looking at scholarships. One scholarship that I applied to every year and got every year was the Kevin D. Knight Leadership Award. It's for those students that are involved on campus. They have different leadership opportunities that they held already, and they give back to the community through community service. And that's a tuition waiver. So it covered my tuition. My parents were super happy because they didn't have to pay out of pocket. That paired along with the financial aid that I received was one of the reasons why I was able to continue living at the residence halls, but also just have a lot of ways to continue and financial resources to stay at NIU as well. So to recommend being involved. Don't recommend being too involved, but find a couple different organizations you're part of and then apply to those scholarships that look at that as well. We had a question about the price for dorms per year. It kind of fluctuates. You could compare them on our website, so you could check out the different things, but some of them are a little bit more affordable than others. And then, so the 10,880 that I covered, that was for the residence halls and your meal plan. So it could be anywhere from like 9,000 to like 12,000, or about like 8,000 to like 9,000 for the residence halls. It just depends on which one you're looking at. New Hall is going to be a little bit more expensive. Neptune is going to be a little bit more affordable, and Stevenson and Grant are right in the middle. So I definitely recommend going on our website, comparing the residence halls. You can compare prices. You can take virtual tours, and the way it kind of works is kind of like Google Maps. You could drop the little character and zoom into different spots. It works just like that. And it's pretty accurate what the residence halls look like. You're able to see the different dimensions, how big the locations are. But definitely recommended is what I always recommend students to look at when they're considering a residence hall, but also looking at what academic buildings are close. So if you're looking like an engineer major, the Neptune would be a little bit easier. Stevenson and Grant will be a little bit farther, but it just depends on what your major is, how far you're willing to walk. We have a bus system, so you're not going too far, but we also have that as an opportunity to get in between classes and going off campus as well. Great question. All right, so it looks like we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. Like I said, feel free to reach out. We're gonna get questions about, we're gonna get a list of questions at the end, so just in case for attendees, I'll be reaching out, but I'll go ahead and let you end the video.
Thank you. Would you mind stopping sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what happened to your video. Okay, so let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Thank you so much to both of our presenters, Kaylin and Alex. Brought back so many memories of NIU for me. Yes, I 100% agree. Get involved. The Office of Student Leadership and Development is a fantastic place to go. So after you exit, you will have a quick survey that pops up, and we ask that you please fill that out. We definitely want your feedback. And like I said, there are more sessions available going into October if you're interested in signing up for more. And this recording will be available afterwards. So thank you again to both of our presenters, and thank you all for participating today. Thank you.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. Thank you.